the very fabric of existence, it seems, has begun to shift for your person, signaling a profound and irreversible turning point in the intricate tapestry of their life's journey. For what felt like an eternity, they were ensnared within the intricate, often suffocating, web of karmic contracts. These were not mere agreements of the soul, but rather ancient, binding ties that had, for far too long, exerted an almost tyrannical hold over their every action, their every thought, shaping the very contours of their perception and their path. It was as if invisible threads, spun from past lessons unlearned and debts unpaid, dictated their movements, pulling them in directions that often felt predetermined, yet profoundly misaligned with their deeper truth. But now, a seismic tremor is rippling through their being. A profound liberation is underway, as these long-standing karmic ties, once so unyielding, are beginning to fray, to loosen, and finally, to snap. They are, at this very moment, breaking free from the insidious grip of manipulative mind games, not just those imposed by external forces, but crucially, those self-imposed illusions and deceptions that once held their inner world captive. It was a labyrinth of distorted reflections, a hall of mirrors where truth was obscured and clarity was a distant dream. Yet, with each snapping thread, a new, exhilarating sense of freedom unfurls within them. This newfound liberation is akin to the lifting of a heavy, suffocating fog that had long enveloped their consciousness. Slowly, painstakingly, the world around them, and indeed, their own inner landscape, is coming into sharper, more vivid focus. They are beginning to see things with an unprecedented clarity, as if a veil has been gently, yet firmly, drawn back from their eyes. And in this newfound lucidity, a singular, undeniable truth is emerging, shining brighter than any star, the true, profound, and utterly indispensable importance of your presence in their life. This realization of your significance has not merely dawned upon them, it has struck them with the force of a revelation, a sudden, blinding flash of insight that has reverberated through every fiber of their being. It is an awakening that has left them reeling, acutely, painfully aware of the vast, aching void left by your absence. They are now experiencing an almost unbearable pang of longing, a deep, visceral ache for the closeness they once shared, for the comfort and solace of having you near. The current distance that stretches between you, once perhaps a manageable inconvenience, has now transformed into a source of profound, gnawing discomfort. This is not a fleeting unease, a mild irritation that can be easily dismissed or forgotten. No, this is a persistent, relentless, and deeply unsettling feeling, a constant, dull throb that resonates within their very core, signaling that something vital, something absolutely essential to their spiritual and emotional well-being, is profoundly, irrevocably missing. It is the kind of discomfort that permeates their waking hours and haunts their dreams, a constant reminder of a fundamental imbalance that only your presence can rectify. The emotional turmoil that now churns within them is a powerful, undeniable force, a tempestuous sea that is relentlessly pushing them, driving them, compelling them towards a singular, urgent imperative, making amends. They are not merely contemplating reconciliation, they are consumed by a fierce, unyielding determination to return to you. And this return, they understand with a clarity that cuts through all past obfuscations, cannot be predicated on empty words, on hollow promises that echo with the insincerity of their past actions. No, their resolve is to return with actions that speak with an undeniable eloquence, actions that resonate with the profound sincerity of their genuine desire to give you the justice, the recognition, and the rightful place of honor you have always deserved in their life. It is a commitment born not of fleeting sentiment, but of a deep, abiding understanding of the wrong they have done and the profound need to right it. As they cast their gaze backward, reflecting upon the intricate, often painful, labyrinth of the past, they are confronted with the stark, unflinching truth of their own indecision and the profound missteps they made. They see, with a clarity that borders on self-flagellation, how they carelessly, almost callously, juggled your precious presence with another option. This other option was not necessarily another person in the conventional sense. It could have been a demanding career that consumed their focus, a fleeting ambition that diverted their gaze, a misguided priority that eclipsed your light, or even an internal struggle that prevented them from fully committing. Regardless of its form, this period of profound indecision, of fractured attention and poor choices, now weighs with an unbearable heaviness upon their conscience. It is a burden that presses down upon them, a constant reminder of the hurt they inflicted. They are, at this very moment, experiencing an overwhelming surge of guilt, a deep, pervasive sense of remorse that permeates their every thought and feeling. The realization of the casual cruelty, the profound hurt, and the bewildering confusion their actions must have caused you is a bitter pill they are now forced to swallow. The sheer gravity of their mistakes, the profound impact of their wavering commitment, is something they can no longer ignore, no longer rationalize away. This stark, undeniable realization is not merely a fleeting emotion, it is a significant, potent, and utterly unyielding motivator, fueling their desperate, heartfelt desire to make things profoundly, unequivocally right. The silence emanating from your end has become a major source of excruciating tension for them, a palpable weight that presses down upon their very soul. Every moment of quiet from you, every unanswered thought, every unacknowledged feeling, stretches out before them like an eternity, an endless expanse filled with suffocating uncertainty and a chilling fear. This fear is rooted in the agonizing question of whether they will ever truly have the chance to make things right, to bridge the chasm that has opened between you. This silence is far more than the mere absence of communication. It is a profound, echoing reminder of the vast, desolate distance that has grown between your two souls. It is a distance they are now desperate, with every fiber of their being, to close, to obliterate, to transform back into the comforting closeness they once knew. They are deeply, profoundly worried about whether you will, in your wisdom and your hurt, be willing to extend to them the grace of another chance, another opportunity to prove their worth. Yet, despite the paralyzing grip of this fear, a powerful, undeniable impulse is stirring within them. They are preparing to take action, to step forward into the unknown. They know, with a certainty that transcends their anxiety, that they must explain themselves, that they must lay bare their innermost thoughts and feelings, exposing the raw vulnerability of their heart. And in doing so, they cling to the fragile, yet potent, hope that you will be able to see, truly see, the profound sincerity that now imbues their intentions. On a deeper, more ethereal plane, the telepathic connection that once flowed so effortlessly, so powerfully, between your two beings seems to be weakening, fraying at the edges like an old, cherished tapestry. What was once a strong, almost tangible sense of each other's presence, a vibrant, resonant awareness of shared emotions and unspoken thoughts, has diminished, fading into a whisper. This ethereal dimming adds yet another layer of profound anxiety for your person, a chilling realization of a bond that is slipping away. They are accustomed to sensing your energy, to intuitively understanding your moods, to perceiving the subtle currents of your thoughts, even across vast distances. This innate, almost symbiotic connection was a fundamental part of their reality, a constant reassurance of your bond. And now, this agonizing loss of connection is driving them to the very brink of frustration, a maddening sense of being adrift. It is as if they are suddenly enveloped in a thick, impenetrable fog, unable to navigate their own tumultuous emotions, and utterly incapable of discerning or understanding yours. This telepathic silence, this profound disconnect on a spiritual level, is making them feel profoundly isolated, utterly disconnected from the one soul they felt truly understood them. This disorienting isolation, rather than deterring them, paradoxically fuels their determination, intensifying their desperate need to re-establish the sacred bond that once united you. Their greatest, most consuming fear is that you will not understand them, that you will fail to grasp the complex, often convoluted, reasons behind their past actions. This fear is amplified, compounded by a stark, unsettling truth: they have never, in the entire span of their existence, been truly vulnerable with anyone before. The very thought of opening up, of peeling back the carefully constructed layers of their self, of showing their true, unvarnished self, and perhaps most terrifyingly, of admitting their profound mistakes, is a daunting, almost insurmountable prospect. It is a precipice they have always shied away from, a vulnerability they have fiercely guarded. Yet, with you, in your profound and enigmatic presence, they find themselves utterly unable to hold back, unable to maintain the protective walls they have meticulously built over a lifetime. There is something about your very essence, your profound and undeniable presence, that possesses an almost magnetic pull, an irresistible force that draws out their deepest honesty, their most profound vulnerability. They cannot, for the life of them, stop themselves from wanting to be in your life again, from relentlessly seeking your forgiveness, and from clinging to the fragile, yet potent, hope for a fresh, untainted start. The journey they are now embarked upon is not merely about seeking your forgiveness, though that remains a paramount objective. It is, more profoundly, a journey of intense personal growth, a crucible of self-understanding. They are, in this arduous process, learning to confront their past actions with an unflinching gaze, to dissect their choices, and to understand, with a painful clarity, the far-reaching, often devastating, impact of those choices. This process of introspection and reckoning is undeniably painful, fraught with emotional challenges that test the very limits of their resilience. Yet, despite the inherent difficulties, it is also profoundly, irrevocably transformative. With each step, each painful realization, they are becoming more self-aware, shedding the illusions that once clouded their judgment. They are cultivating a deeper, more authentic empathy, learning to truly feel and understand the experiences of others. And, perhaps most significantly, they are becoming more exquisitely attuned to the subtle, unspoken needs and profound feelings of those around them, and most especially, to yours. In essence, the arduous journey your person is undertaking towards you is one of profound redemption and radical transformation. They are, with every fiber of their being, breaking free from the suffocating constraints of their past, from the limiting beliefs and destructive patterns that once defined them. They are acknowledging their mistakes, not with a fleeting apology, but with a deep, visceral understanding of the harm they caused. And in this process, they are striving, with an unwavering resolve, to become a better, more evolved, and more authentic version of themselves. Their eventual return to you is not merely about rekindling a relationship that was once vibrant, it is about proving, through tangible actions and heartfelt words, that they have profoundly, irrevocably changed. They do not wish to re-enter your life as the person they once were, burdened by past errors and unconscious patterns. Instead, they yearn to return as the person they are actively becoming, a more understanding, a more caring, and above all, a more deeply committed partner. The path that stretches ahead of them may be uncertain, shrouded in the mists of the unknown, but their unwavering resolve to make things profoundly right with you remains an unshakable anchor in the storm. This time, their inner voice echoes with a desperate tremor, "You have gone silent for so long, and I am trying, with every ounce of my being, not to succumb to the rising tide of panic, not to freak out." But the longer your silence persists, the more it stretches into an agonizing eternity, the more I begin to wonder, to truly question, have I truly hurt you more deeply, more profoundly, than I ever realized? Have my thoughtless words, my careless actions, inadvertently pushed you away, creating an unbridgeable chasm between us? Have I, in my blindness, made you feel a sadness so profound that it has silenced your very soul? The silence from your end is not merely quiet, it is deafening, a roaring void that fills their mind with 1,000 unspoken questions and a terrifying cascade of possibilities regarding what they might have done wrong. Each passing day without the sound of your voice, without the comforting assurance of your presence, feels like an eternity, a desolate expanse of time that stretches endlessly before them. The gnawing uncertainty has become a constant companion, a relentless tormentor that forces them to question every single interaction you ever shared, every word exchanged, every glance. They find themselves replaying conversations in their head, an endless loop of self-recrimination, desperately trying to pinpoint the exact, insidious moment when things went irrevocably wrong. A chilling worry has taken root deep within their heart, that you no longer have faith in their promises, that the trust they so carelessly squandered has evaporated into thin air. They fear that you no longer wish to focus your precious energy on them, that your attention has irrevocably shifted. This fear is amplified by a chilling perception. This time, your very energy, your subtle essence, speaks a different language, a language of detachment and distance. Your silence, once a mere absence, is now filled with 1,000 unspoken words, each one a heavy, leaden weight upon their heart, pressing down with an almost unbearable force. You seem so profoundly detached from them, a chasm of emotional distance having widened between you over the last few months. This distance feels like an unbridgeable chasm, a vast abyss that separates your worlds. It is as if you are now living in parallel universes, existing side by side yet infinitely far apart, close enough to perceive, yet too distant to touch. These tormenting thoughts, these relentless anxieties, have become a constant distraction, consuming their mind, leaving them feeling profoundly stressed out, perpetually annoyed, and utterly drained in their day-to-day life. The constant worry, the incessant overthinking, is taking a severe toll on their mental and emotional well-being, affecting their ability to focus on anything else, rendering them ineffective and restless. They find themselves perpetually lost in a dense fog of anxiety and pervasive sadness, utterly unable to shake the chilling, haunting feeling that they have lost something immeasurably precious, something irreplaceable. There is an overwhelming, desperate yearning within them to communicate with you, to break through this impenetrable barrier, because you seem, at this moment, so utterly untouchable, so impossibly far away. Every time they attempt to reach out, every tentative word, every hopeful gesture, feels as though it falls into a vast, echoing void, swallowed by the silence. They miss, with an aching intensity, the effortless way you used to talk, the profound, almost spiritual depth with which you used to connect, a bond that transcended mere words. Now, a formidable barrier stands between you, an invisible wall they cannot seem to breach, no matter how desperately they try. This time, things feel profoundly different, irrevocably altered, as if you have drifted far, far away from them, beyond the reach of their understanding. The warmth, the comforting closeness, the vibrant intimacy you once shared, has been replaced by a cold, chilling distance that permeates their very soul, leaving them shivering in its wake. My love, their heart cries out in silent anguish, I simply cannot handle the terrifying, suffocating feeling that I have lost you forever. No distraction, no fleeting pleasure, no momentary diversion possesses the power to numb the profound, aching absence of you. You are everywhere I am, an omnipresent force in my world. Your presence, your essence, lingers in every corner of my life, a haunting, beautiful echo in every memory we painstakingly created together. I see you in the familiar places we used to frequent, places now imbued with a bittersweet nostalgia. I hear your laughter, a phantom melody, in the quiet, reflective moments, and I feel your profound absence, a gaping void, in every single heartbeat, a constant reminder of what is missing. This void you've left behind is immense, an unfillable chasm, and nothing, absolutely nothing, seems capable of filling it. I have tried, desperately, to immerse myself in work, to lose myself in hobbies, to latch onto anything that might momentarily take my mind off you, but it is all in vain. Nothing works. The more I try to distract myself, the more intensely I am reminded of your profound, agonizing absence. Every single day, I awaken with a flicker of hope, a desperate yearning for a message from you, a single sign, however small, that you are still there, still thinking of me, still holding me in your heart. But the silence, that relentless, deafening silence, continues its suffocating reign, and with each passing moment, my fear grows, expands, threatening to consume me entirely. I worry, with a terror that chills me to the bone, that you have moved on, that you have found a new path, a new purpose, and that you no longer need me in your life, that my presence has become redundant. This thought, this chilling possibility, terrifies me more profoundly than I can ever hope to articulate in words. It is not merely the fear of being alone, though that is a heavy burden. It is the overwhelming, soul-crushing fear of losing you, of losing us, of seeing the beautiful tapestry we wove together unravel into nothingness. I keep wondering, endlessly, agonizingly, if there is something, anything, I can do to make things right, to somehow bring you back from the precipice of goodbye. I yearn to know what went wrong, to understand your perspective, to see the world through your eyes, even if it means confronting my own painful truths. Perhaps I have been blind to my own faults, too wrapped up in my own insular world, too self-absorbed to truly see or comprehend how my actions, my choices, have profoundly affected you. If I have, in any way, caused you pain, I am deeply, profoundly, unequivocally sorry. Hurting you was never, not for a single moment, my intention, and the mere thought that I have caused you such suffering is utterly unbearable, a weight too heavy for my soul to carry.